Choices+Medical+Clinic in the sonogram room. There have been a lot of amazing things happen in this room. Not long ago, Brian and Julie Brayfield came to Choices for a consult. They had received some bad news from their pregnancy right about 26 weeks into the pregnancy.
We had a couple sonograms during the pregnancy. The first few, they had noticed some problems. Shortly after that, we had some tests ran, and we had found out that Mackenzie had trisomy 18, which is a genetic disorder, and she was not going to survive. Walking through the door, I was scared, angry.
We felt alone. We didn't understand.
A lot of my anger was probably just masking my fear because I was terrified. A
lot of blaming myself for what did I do wrong, and how can I do this? And then I went to, this is not going to happen. It's just going to turn around and everything's going to be fine. It's a big mistake.
They knew that their baby was not going to live after birth, and their doctor had recommended that they come here for some assistance.
Our whole lives changed September 14th when we walked in here.
She was a blessing. And that's hard to understand, to think of a baby dying being a blessing. But Mackenzie was a blessing.
We had a little girl October 26th, Mackenzie Joan Brayfield, and she's changed our lives.
Where we help these people is we show them their baby. This is not just a situation of a horrible event. This is a child. This is their child, their baby. We show them alive, and, you know, to celebrate their life.
Choices just helped us see and cherished and loved her. They told us it was okay to love her and to cry and to feel the way we felt.
I was surprised that they were going to go through this journey with us all the way. I was surprised by their strength, I think, a lot.
They are so sad when they first come here. It's such a horrible, horrible thing to learn that your child's not going to live. And for them to be able to parent their child, even if it's just through the womb, and make decisions for their child and celebrate their child's life, makes the healing afterwards so much better.
I don't think we could have done it without Choices and walked the way we walked and had the faith and had the support was unbelievable.
They were with us. They sacrificed their lives, time, their family time.
They pray with you. They cry with you. They hold your baby. They loved Mackenzie. They love Mackenzie.
We call these bonding sonograms because this is a way for the grandparents and the extended family to be able to see the baby while she's still alive and experience her movements and just fall in love with her.
We came and brought family members. We could call them anytime, brought family members in.
They helped us plan the funeral. You know, those are hard things to do. They were there for us. I love them. I love Choices for that.
I always wonder how they do it, because they do. They really love that baby, and they know when they have people come in here for this situation, they know that they're going to hurt, but they stay in here and they still do it. They're unbelievable people. There's always said there's got to be a special place in heaven for them.
Now, I remember the first day, their consultation, they came in.
I wanted to understand what was going to happen and see. I needed help. I needed help really bad.
I talked to Julie a few days before her appointment, and she wasn't even sure Brian would come to the appointment.
I dragged him in here. He had several things to say all the way up the stairs.
He was somewhat aloof. He didn't really want to participate in this.
You could tell he was in a lot of pain, and he just wasn't wanting to share it with us.
They came here for the consultation, and then after the consultation we came into this room where we began to show them their baby.
Brian sat down and just was quiet, just sat there. But as the sonogram continued and he saw the images of his Mackenzie, his face changed.
I remember specifically he got out of his chair and stood up and looked closer at the screen, like if he could just get closer. And then he sat back down, and I remember him reaching over and holding Julie's hand, and I began to see his face just melted. He wasn't as angry, and that wall that he had put up was beginning to crumble.
When we went into the sonogram room, there was a chair next to the table, and I sat down in that chair. I had my arm on Julie's leg, and I just bowed my head that day. And I gave my life to Christ, and I gave him, just let everything out that day, right then.
When we walked out, Brian was not the same person.
My life has changed tremendously. From that very moment, the instant I did that, I felt calm, still scared, but it's like a switch got flipped.
To that point, they were struggling in their lives. They weren't following the Lord, and they weren't really happy. In fact, they weren't even married.
I was not in a good frame of mind when I came in here. I was not leading the life that I should have been leading.
Have a whole different belief now and a whole different faith. And
I haven't been that person since that day, since that moment.
Through Mackenzie and through Choices, God saved our souls. Our souls have saved.
He handed me himself because he's been with me ever since.
You know, God had been working this out long before Julie found out she was pregnant.
On the sonogram that morning, Julie asked where we got the machine, and when we told her where the machine had come from a church through donations, they both remembered the time when the church was doing the fundraiser, and they too emptied their pocketbooks just to support the fundraiser for this machine.
God's plan.
Yeah, he had a plan that day when we first saw the machine at the church, and his plan was for us to see our daughter through that machine.
God used her to save my life. And I tried really hard through the whole experience to be there for her and be a dad, because that's the only chance I got.
It's amazing how much impact Mackenzie had, an unborn child, on people all over.
Mackenzie was like an atomic bomb. She just changed so many people's lives all around us. She changed my husband and I, our relationship. She taught us how to trust in God, how to trust people again, how to love. We love a whole different way. She changed lives all over the place. My whole family, extended family, friends, so many people's lives have been changed because Mackenzie. Come to find out, there were several people that had walked this journey and had no one and had no help, and they were suffering. And Mackenzie changed them and brought them out of the darkness that they were in for years.
And I know that she's in heaven, and she will never know anything but love. Nobody will ever be mean to her, tease her. She'll never know anything but love, and she'll be happy. She was born to heaven that day.
She was stillborn. We made it 36 weeks. So, and we went in Monday or Friday and listened to the heartbeat, and she was doing good and swinging around like she did. She punched at the sonogram all the time, didn't like to be bothered. And by Monday, I went back in, and she was gone. It was something that we prayed for. We prayed not for that in particular, but we prayed really hard for no pain for her.
we had a lot of family there and in the room, and we wanted it to be something that was her birthday, a celebration, and that's what we did. There was a lot of peace in that room that day. She was in heaven. She was already in heaven. We wanted it to be a celebration instead of something.
She was healed.
Mm-hmm.
I think of Choices, and I think of when they get to heaven, just all these little babies that are just going to be so happy to see them.